Hello, hello. Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. I'm Laura Lee.
And I'm Helena. Hello and welcome to another transit episode.
Yes, we're changing it up a little bit. We're going to split our transit episodes in half so they are a little bit easier to digest. And then we're going to come back to you on a weekly basis with shorter episodes. So we're going to do our transits, but just for little chunks at a time, 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah, exactly. 2 weeks now, and then in 2 weeks, the rest. So
Yeah.
it will also be more about the present moment.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's gonna be, I think it's gonna be
Necessary
good.
for my brain. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm in a Capricorn progressed moon right now, and all of my planets are in the sixth house. All of for the my solar return, like everything, and I'm having to really focus on one day at a time, 1 hour, sometimes even a minute at a time, because things are real intense at my house and real intense in my life, and I love it. And let's just take a deep breath, right?
Mm.
Because that is the thing that's helping me survive. So I think for me, I need these transits shortened down to focus on 2 weeks at a time instead of the full month. Because
Yes, yes. So we hope that this is gonna be better for everyone. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
we're giving it a shot. Let's
yeah,
see, let's see
how it goes.
how it goes. And we are a little bit late with this June episode because of life, but there hasn't yet in June been any exact transits. So we're also right on time.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
on time. So
Yeah.
June 4th is the first active transit in the month. So 1, 2, and 3 are just hang out and breathe, deal with May and what happened in May and all the energy from the last half of May. And I do remember us doing the May episode and talking about the
Yeah.
second half of May being like, whoa, hang on, right? And
Yeah.
it was very, very active in my life and financially amazing. I mean, the abundance and the growth. And I also need to take these 3 days and recover
Yeah. Yeah.
from the energetics.
Like I told you before, the I usually don't write stuff in like astrology stuff into my actual physical calendar, but
Yeah.
I did for May, and I just pretty much wrote in capital letters over the two last weeks of May. I just wrote breathe in capital in letters because I just remember it being very intense with the transits and. I wasn't really so active the last 2 weeks of May to check the transits daily or check where we were at.
No,
I
I
I
wasn't
was
either.
just knowing, yeah, it was a lot, and I was just trying to like find moments of like landing time, like little pockets, and
Yes.
that was great actually. That was
Yeah.
great.
How did you find them? What did they look like for you?
Yoga and meditation, and but I can't do it at home because then I will just not do it. I will
Right.
have to book a session and go and be like with other people. Also, um I just find that I go so much deeper when there's more people around me. Like this, everyone sort of creates this big vessel, like energy vessel, and you like dive deeper. I love it.
Yes.
I love going to like real in real life, sessions.
I need to put it on my calendar right now because I just got an email from our yoga studio that said she's changing the hours for June and now it's at a time that works better for me. And you just said that and I'm putting it on the
Yeah,
calendar right now. So
yeah,
it's on there
yeah,
for Wednesday.
yeah. And like sometimes you don't even have to you don't have to know what transit is happening,
No.
but it could help to just write in calendar something like that, like breathe or like ground, or maybe the opposite. Maybe you just remember I was talking about something that's going to be like, take this moment to really explore your
Yeah.
creativity, or take this moment to do this. Like you don't have to write down Venus
Right.
opposite to
Mars or whatever.
Jupiter.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you
Just
can just write down the emotion or like a prompt for yourself.
grab the energy. Exactly. I
Yeah.
did not check the transits throughout the last half of May, but I did really feel them. And I remembered to take it easy. So my grounding spots or my landing spots to take a break were in the garden. And I just kept planting flowers this year. Every time I'd find new flowers at a friend's house or wherever, my parents' house, I literally would just grab a shovel and a bag and go dig up their flowers. I'm like, I'm taking some of your irises here. They're like, okay. Like it was great. I got daffodils, irises, you name it. And I just kept putting flowers in the ground. And that brought me so much peace and
Mm.
so much just mm, breath, presence, mindfulness, right? Just having my hands in the dirt and then thinking about what this plant's going to grow into and how it's going to fill in and like this beautiful garden bed and imagining the gorgeousness of the
Yeah.
growth, right? So I just kept planting. That was my thing, being out in nature. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I managed. I don't know if I managed well, but I managed as best as I
We
could.
managed. We're here.
We
And
are. So what
so let's dive
happens?
into
Yeah, what happens June
June.
4th? What's going on?
On June 4th, Venus is in Aries and will be forming a sextile to Jupiter in Gemini. And this, I find it to be like a mwah way to start the month.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very soft, like soft launch for June. Um, Venus in Aries now. Venus is all about like enjoying things. It's also about values.
Mm.
And in Aries, I find it to be an energy to like really go ahead and take action on those things that you value.
Yes. Yes. Don't hesitate to demonstrate your love for somebody or, spend that money on that gift you wanted to get them or show your interest in somebody, which is Aries taking action and Gemini giving information to them some way, somehow, whatever that looks like, either through a letter or a gift or a hug or going out to lunch and having a nice lunch date. This is taking action
Yes.
on those things.
Yes, yes. And sextiles are those energies that can pass us by so fast without us recognizing them. And, we talk so much about squares and positions and be like, oh, be prepared and breathe and ground.
Mm-hmm.
But like, take this opportunity as well to do something with this like really gentle energy of this Venus sextile Jupiter. And yeah, Jupiter in Gemini is so curious and want to mingle. So yeah, like be around people, learn, um,
Networking.
you know,
This is a great networking
yeah,
opportunity with
sure.
Venus being
Yeah.
your one of the kind of business planets we look to for relationships and money and how you do those relationships and money and then Jupiter in the sign of chatty communicative Gemini. This is and they're both
Hmm.
at the later degree. So this is happening in a very mature energy. So this is a great time. Hand out some flyers, hand out some posters, hand out your business cards, network with people, gather together and brainstorm new ideas. Oh, what a lovely day to start off.
Yeah,
I love
very.
I love that.
So the day after, June 5th,
Mm-hmm.
we have two things going on. We have Venus now actually ingressing into Taurus,
Mm-hmm.
changing signs, and also Mercury in Gemini will be forming a sextile to Mars in Leo. What
Yes.
do you think about that?
Well, I love Venus entering Taurus because this is her ruling energy. She
Yeah.
feels so comfortable here. And this is where we really can step into the things that we really need to take care of in our life and readjust the foundation of taking care of ourselves better. I just did several readings this past week, probably 8 or 9. And the theme was very much you need to love yourself. You need to take care of yourself better. And that was like across the board for everybody. And what a beautiful opportunity for all of my clients that I just worked with and everybody else to learn to value and love themselves in a new foundational way. This is a good reminder every time Venus goes into Taurus to just experience the pleasures and enjoy the flowers that you planted and maybe heaven forbid take air water and your journal and go sit out by the flowers you planted and just be with them for
Hmm.
a while, right?
Yeah.
Delightful energy when it comes to just taking some
Yeah.
time.
For sure. Like pleasure is definitely like what sums it up, I think. Venus being in Taurus, and Venus has two homes in Taurus and in Libra. But in Taurus, I find Venus to be even more so about like the earthly pleasures.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. Like, use all of your senses, like cook something delicious, like spend time really doing that. Smell stuff. I always think of the bull Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
Yes.
Yeah, when I think
Yes.
about Venus and Taurus, just like lying down, smelling the flowers,
Yep.
taking his time. Like, yes, yes, yes,
Just
yes.
wants
This
to
is
sit
Venus
under
and
the
Taurus.
tree and smell his flowers,
Yeah, and just love, not fight. Like
not
that
fight.
is a lover, not a fighter. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is what this is. So if you've been experiencing challenges within any of your relationships, and I know I'm talking to myself, this is a good energy to help resolve any kind of conflicting energy that is has been building or tensions that have been building. There's a softness here and a an understanding. Really not so much with Aries, it's more up, and with Taurus it's all right, let's just talk about this.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a really nice energy if you're having relationship challenges. But that same day, Mercury is chatting with Mars and Leo, like you said. So Mercury is in Gemini, one of its home signs, loves being here. So easy peasy energy when it comes to our mind. And then that short sextile conversation is like handing a note to your best friend just over somebody, right? Just easy to get it to them. And Mars is our drive. And he's really comfortable in Leo. It's not his home sign, but it's a fire sign and he really likes to be there. So these are comfortable planets in comfortable constellations and they're chatting with each other in a really nice way. So again, this shows me like intellectual and taking action,
Yeah.
communicating in a bold way, doing something, your drive to go and do something and take action is really aligned with your thought process.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is like, yeah, your mental activity very much being like very high functioning
Yes.
this day and very connected then to Mars, which is more so the body and taking action. And Leo is, yeah, that
Yeah.
that bold energy. So it's very much I see this energy of like going down through the head and like out through the heart and just following your heart because Leo is so much about the heart as well.
Oh, yes.
And Mars is, taking the action. So you're like,
And loves to play.
yes.
This feels like a playful one
Yeah.
too. With Mars and Leo, that reminds me of children, right? Kids at a playground.
Yeah.
This is very Mars and Leo energy. Kids at a playground, just having fun, being loud, not needing to be quiet or follow any kind of specific rules, right? I mean, obviously, general code of conduct, but really just an open, imaginative play is what I can really see here. So if you have not done that in a while, I know I work with a lot of clients who need help with play. I actually
Mm.
am one of them. I get a little too workaholic and I do need help playing. So this is a great day to maybe if you can take off
Yeah.
of work early or go out and do something fun you haven't done for a while.
Yes, definitely. Like this is for sure. Like with Venus entering Taurus and this sextile. Yes, like if you can take a day off and
Yeah,
go and be around people and like yeah, do something with this day,
for sure.
please.
I'm just looking at what's going on because that's a Thursday, and on my calendar, I actually have a meeting called the Healers Hub networking session in the evening. It's a local like community gathering, and I haven't gone to one of them yet. It's once a month, and I'm like, I think it's time. I
Yeah,
think it's time. So that sounds like a perfect way to go play is go chat with other spiritual friends who are doing businesses doing this. All
perfect.
All right. So we have a couple days of just breathing after all that good fun and play and lovely Taurus and Venus energy or Venus and Taurus energy. And then June 8th, Mercury is still hanging out in Gemini and he comes conjunct with Jupiter in Gemini. And we are again at the late degrees of Gemini here. So this is very, very mature energy. Check out where this is in your chart. Where is this happening? Because this is a powerful alignment with mind and expansive knowledge planet, right? So this is the planet of big, good luck, expansive
Mm,
knowledge, higher education, just growth in kind of
yeah.
all the ways. And when it's connected with Mercury and they're both lining up in the tail end of Gemini, whew, learn something this day. Take in something. Get a book if you haven't read a book in a while. Maybe start a new book, get an Audible subscription, whatever, right? This is a great day for, I think, mental expansion, big time,
Mm,
but also networking, talking, writing, so much mental activity.
Yes, an opportunity,
Yeah.
opportunity around the whatever comes through your brilliant ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
this is a day
like,
I would recommend everybody write something down, right? Like write down ideas that come
yeah,
to you. This is like real sudden hits of information. Like it
yeah,
just sparks like a light just flickers and you're like, "Whoa, I just got a great idea." Do not let that go. And don't think you'll remember it either because you won't. I promise you. I live with this energy. You forget things real fast if you don't capture them. You'll be at dinner that night going, "Wait, what was that idea?" And it'll just gone.
yeah,
You have to capture it.
exactly.
So this is a great day to get sudden ideas and then make sure you capture them.
Yes, yes, write them down. And later this day, Mercury enters Cancer actually. So
Ooh.
Mercury will be ingressing into Cancer. You'll be forming that conjunction to Jupiter and then just shoof,
So that's
right into
happening at
Cancer.
29 degrees Gemini.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
That's a powerful energy, that 29th degree.
It is. It's that critical degree, very like much very mature energy.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. For
Where is
sure,
this
write
happening? What house
down.
is this happening in for you?
For me, this would be my sixth house.
Okay.
Let me just double check where
This is in my first house
order.
and it's opposite
Yeah,
Neptune.
sixth house.
So I'm really curious how this is going to manifest for me
Oh,
because
did you say first
in
house?
my first house, right in the middle of my first house, and it's opposite my natal Neptune. So I'm really curious what kind of spiritual downloads I'm going to get
All
because I
right.
can already tell you they're going to, especially through a friend, because Neptune's in the seventh house for me, right? So if this is opposite
Yeah.
energy, it would be through a friend, a business partner, my husband. So this day, what I would do, knowing this, and again, look at your chart where this is showing up, knowing that this transit is happening opposite my Neptune in my house of marriage, and knowing that when my husband and I have a date or hang out together, I get energetic downloads and I channel a lot
Mm,
easier. Like he helps me to open the veil or connect or something. He's like a extra plug. Maybe he's a surge protector. I don't know. But it helps me to open into that realm. So knowing that Jupiter and Mercury will be conjunct at the
mm. Yeah.
29th degree opposite my Neptune, that's a big opportunity for me to really open even more to source and spirit and creative ideas, whether it's, lyrics, music, whatever. So take a look in your own chart and see where this shows up and if it happens at any critical degrees or any kind of conversations with other planets, because it makes a big difference. Yeah,
Interesting. It's gonna happen opposite to my Saturn-Uranus conjunction
that's right. That's right. That should be
in the
interesting.
12th house. Yeah,
So,
so
so that to me interprets that you'll probably have some kind of healing come up and out of you that you didn't consciously know before. So this is like pulling
mm,
stuff from the unconscious into the conscious in your daily routines so that you can deal with it. Maybe it's
yeah,
a past life thing that comes through. Maybe it's a thing from grandma and grandpa you didn't know about, right? It always shows up, especially with Uranus, in a really weird way, really kind of sudden, chaotic way. So you may get
interesting.
open a book and it's got a letter from grandma or something that you never read before. Who knows, right? It can just kind of hit you like that. But I think for me, I would, if I were seeing that in my chart, I would be ready for something from
Hmm.
source and spirit and the past, quote unquote, the past, to come forward up into my conscious mind in a big way.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be observing my dreams around this time as well
Yes.
because yes, a lot happens there
Yep.
for
Yep.
me.
Yeah. Really tracking your dreams. Absolutely.
Hmm.
So these are just the ideas that we have, for these things. You guys look in your own chart and see what's happening and then, kind of try to work those conversations together. If this planet speaks this way and this one does this, how and what might that energy vibe feel like and what might I be looking for,
Yeah,
That's kind of how we use it here.
yeah.
So the next day we have an interesting transition. So the asteroid Pallas Athena on June 9th, she goes retrograde into Aquarius. So she's been retrograding a while through Pisces, and now she's going back into Aquarius. Now this is our planet of wisdom. So I like to think of her as a bridge between Mercury and Mars. So she is the goddess of wisdom and negotiations. She knows when to go to war and when not to. She's very good with battle strategy and planning things. And so she's kind of this mediator between Mercury and Mars. And I really like her. I feel like she brings this feminine wisdom to the chart when there's a lot of masculine energy going on.
Mm.
So we get the masculine Mercury and the masculine Mars, and she's over here going, hold on, boys, hold on, let me get my thoughts in here. So she's moving back into Aquarius for a couple of weeks, and this is where we're really starting to look at how we can be wise about using our skills, our energies, our talents to help the greater good be better, be greater, right? So again, with all of the things up in arms in the world, all of the fascism movements and the dictators coming about and the just the energetics, we need to use our wisdom
Mhm.
to really live in our chart the best of our ability and give our unique talents and skills to society to help it improve, whatever that looks like. Whether
Yeah.
that's through art or being of service by making lunch or whatever it is, right? We have to use those skills and talents. It does not have to be this giant, big global thing, but every little thing we do adds up.
Mm. And it's a retrograde. It's
Mm-hmm.
retrograding. So this is going back to an energy that we have experienced not too long ago and
Right.
giving us, um, making us rethink these things, redo it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really check it out how maybe what we missed last time it was here.
Exactly. Yeah.
And now we can really recognize that Aquarius energy is eccentric, it's unique, it's eclectic, it is independent that flows and works well within a group. So if you do your independent thing really well, and you do your independent thing, and I do my independent, we all do our independent thing well, and then come together and work in the community. So this is an opportunity to see where did we miss the connection with our community last time, and how can we get involved this time
Mm.
with the retrograde. And then when she turns around and goes back into Pisces, then we get to work on that compassion energy and that healing energy and nurturing energy before we go into Aries and launch into new stuff. So I love this. That
Yeah.
same day, June 9th, we have 3 more things going on. So everybody circle your calendar. And Monday, June 9th is active in the sky.
Yeah, yeah. Like now we're getting into that time of the month where we're actually going to experience a couple of squares. So things are starting to get a little bit more challenging.
Yep. A little bit feisty.
Yeah.
So what's the first one we
So
got?
first one up, which is still on June 9th, is Mercury in Cancer, who will be square to Saturn in Aries. Also that day. Oh, hang on, we have four things.
Yeah, I just saw that. I said
Ah,
3 and then I went,
okay.
oh no, there's 4.
Also an ingress. Okay, so except for Pallas Athena retrograding in Aquarius, we have Mercury in Cancer square to Saturn in Aries.
Yep.
We have Venus in Taurus square to Pluto in Aquarius, and also Jupiter is now ingressing into Cancer.
And
So
then
it's a lot. Oh my God, no.
and then
Five?
Mercury in Cancer squares Neptune in
This
Aries
is all same day.
the same day.
One, two. Okay,
One,
so we have
two, three,
three squares in
four,
one day.
5. Yeah, yeah.
I've never seen this before.
Nope, this is new.
Okay, okay. Great. Great, 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 great. And this is leading up to the full moon, which is 2 days later.
Yep.
So, okay, let's get into it.
Yes, and everybody just breathe, right? Deep breath
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here we
It will
go.
be
So
challenging, but
circle
we're ready for it.
circle June 9th and know that this day will require patience. We're not even talking about what squares are what squares. But if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 squares and 2 transitioning planets into different signs, we're going to breathe through this day.
Mm.
Everybody breathe.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got?
So, okay, let's begin with then Mercury in Cancer, square to
Mhm.
Saturn Aries. This is a fast one because Mercury moves fast in the sky.
Mhm.
Mercury is the messenger, our thoughts and how we express them. Now being in Cancer, making us softer and making us see things in a more fluid, more abstract way, I would say. But this energy is now in a square to Saturn, who has recently moved into Aries. Saturn is can make us feel restriction
Mm-hmm.
and also pushing us at the same time. And now being in Aries, really wanting us to move forward, but like it's like move forward, but you're not doing it right. Go faster, but not that fast.
But not that fast. But
So
but
yes,
take time to rest and take care of yourself. But no, you're taking care of yourself too much. Now go again. This is what I've been feeling ever since Saturn moved into Aries. It's been
yes,
real interesting.
yes.
Go, wait, go. Oh, shit. Mm.
Mhm. So what's happening now with this tension between the Mercury in Cancer and this fast go, stop, go energy is that you might feel confused.
And that
You
will
don't really
be
know.
make you cranky. This is a cranky day.
Mm,
This is a Mercury. Whenever Mercury in Cancer is having a difficult conversation, I feel like this is
mood.
crabby, moody, crabby, bitey, bitey, pinchy, underhanded little remarks. Oh, I can see myself this day. This is not going to be
Yeah.
a fun day.
Yep.
Maybe I'll go
Yep.
somewhere for the day.
We are having at work, we're having like the yearly fun day at work on this day. I'm just like,
Oh,
okay,
it might not be so fun.
yay.
I wonder what
This might
that's
be a
gonna.
little challenging.
I
Yeah,
wonder
I
how that's
am
gonna show
suddenly not
up.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
Not really. No, there's nothing really fun about this day in particular. I'm like looking
Yeah.
at looking at the transits, going, I don't. Nope, nope.
Like,
Because with this square with
yes.
Mercury and Saturn, this is your mind square to the authority figure. So the authority is like the cop that pulled you over, and your mind didn't think you were doing anything wrong. You were just driving. You were just driving the way you felt like you needed to drive because it's Cancer, so it's feeling. And now Saturn comes up hot on your ass and goes, you weren't driving right. You weren't driving correctly. And then Cancer immediately is going to get defensive and put their shell up and then get crabby. And
Yeah.
so big misunderstandings. And that's just the first transit. So the
Mm.
second transit is Venus and Pluto
Hmm.
in two stubborn signs of Taurus and Aquarius, which is I want it the way I want it. And
Yeah, I see my way, and my way is the right way.
yes. So even though it's a square, I think Venus is nice to be in squares because she kind of softens the square a little bit. She doesn't really like to argue that much, but it definitely can be a butting heads because she might want to just relax. And then Pluto and Aquarius wants you to transform and take action in the collective. And so that could be a tension there between these two where she just wants to chill and he wants you to do and go and take action on something. And that just kind of supports the irritation up with
Mm.
the Mercury and Saturn. So,
Yeah, I also see this as like a very much like Venus is so much about your values, also how you feel you're being valued, and Pluto is a lot about power and control. So you
yeah,
might not feel like you are being valued
correct.
by someone who might be you feel is controlling a
Mm-hmm.
situation, perhaps. But I mean, the first thing that I think about when I see how much is going on this day is a note to myself. This day, I will be taking two steps back and observing. I am gonna do my very, very, very best to think first and keep my mouth pretty shut and just observe.
I better make a
Because a
couple
lot
reels
of,
on this.
yeah, a lot of things with this much activity, you're gonna react in a lot of ways, and that's only human. That's what we do. But I sort of feel like a better route for myself is just to observe it. I know the lessons are coming anyway. I'm gonna observe what's coming up, and then take this on a couple of days later to see where it lands.
Yes. Yes. And what I really like is that Jupiter is entering into Cancer, which I feel like can help to soften things a little bit, help us get maybe a little bit more into our sensitive side, into our feelings, maybe think about the other person's feelings a little bit too. And I feel like that can help us really with trusting our intuition, knowing when we need to maybe step out, right? Get out of here. This is
Mm.
clearly not working. This is a crap day. Laura and Helena said this was not going to really be a great day. I'm going to go for a walk. This is, I'm out of here. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of how I can see myself handling this day. Like if with the kids or my husband or anything, just be like, I'm going to go sit by the lake and eat some food. Right? Very Cancer energy, right? Like I'm going to
Mm.
go by the water and eat some food just to kind
Mm.
of help with ease the tension. Right. And for me, that's what
Yeah.
taking 2 steps back and observing looks like, getting out of my own environment and getting some food in me because I typically don't eat enough. And then
Yeah.
I can think clearly with a new perspective when I'm out of my own environment.
Exactly. Like this energy is gonna happen either way,
Yep.
but we can make sure that we are rested, fed, and somewhat grounded going into this because these transits happen because we need them. We
Mm-hmm.
also need tension in our lives. So we really need it.
Heck
Otherwise, we're
yeah.
not gonna get anywhere. So this day is gonna bring us, massive lessons, I'm sure.
Yeah. It brings up
So
the discomfort in the
yeah.
areas of life that we need to address that we maybe ignore or push aside. And
It's
that,
like I always think about you years and years ago when you had that analogy of uh, a square being like working at a muscle that is you haven't been working out for a while. So I see this as like you haven't been going to the gym for years to work out your pinky, and
yep.
now your really really soft pinky is gonna get a real big workout and it's gonna feel it afterwards.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that. Then the same day, we've got Mercury moves a little bit further into the zodiac and then is coming square with Neptune. So Neptune and Saturn are just a little bit apart at this point, and this is not a good day for business contracts or anything like that. Signing things, just really challenging for so many reasons because of this Neptune interference causes things to be confusing or a little bit, maybe you think you have all the information, but you don't actually have the
yeah.
information. And so if you have any major things that you have to sign or contracts, try to postpone it for a couple days to get a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, I would say like don't try and not make any sort of promise or any sort of like plan. Don't even say like, yeah, let's meet you that day on this day because you're not gonna know what you're saying. With like Mercury first with a square to to Saturn, and then ending this day with a square to Neptune.
Yeah. It feels like it
No.
starts off hard and gets confusing
And gets really confusing. And Neptune
with some
is the water
crabbiness in
planet.
between.
Yeah, so I would say like this day might end in tears, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, I think tears are really good. And Neptune is a water planet. It's also highly emotional, and
I could
feeling it
see that.
all. So with this Mercury in Cancer square to Neptune, I think you might be picking up on a lot of stuff all of a sudden. You're picking like ending the day, just feeling everything and just like blah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
water, like tears, are very cleansing. So that might be ideal for this day, actually.
So cleansing, so cleansing. And honestly, if this is a great day too with the Neptune connection there, if you are into oracle cards or anything like that, this is a great time to maybe lean on your cards and let
Yeah.
source guide you with your mind because it can feel confusing with the decision making. So maybe use Neptune there and use the strength of your connection with source through the divine tools that you have, whether it's using a pendulum or oracle cards or just free writing, right? Sometimes source likes to guide through us with just free writing. So a lot of different ways you can tune into that. But that would be a great evening to hopefully shut things down and make your energy feel a little bit better with some affirmations and some oracle cards or things like that. Everybody, good
Yeah.
luck on June 9th. We wish you all the best. Think first, take 2 steps backwards and observe. And yeah, make sure you feed yourself good food, good energy, and if you can, go be alone for a while. Go for a walk
Mm.
or
But yeah, remember, challenges are good. We need to
mm-hmm.
be challenged, and
Yep.
and this is one of those days.
Yep. And now you know, because isn't it nice to know what the weather's going to be? Now you can prepare for this blizzard that's showing up and you can dress appropriately. You're not going to be wearing your
Yes.
summer gear for this weather, right? That's why I like astrology and transits. I don't know how it will show up, but I just know that there's probably a storm coming and I should just be prepared to not
Mm.
do outside work that day, right? We're
Mm.
comparing it to the weather. So, and then we have a day to breathe before we decide to jump into this full moon in Sag on the 11th. What do you think of a
Yeah.
full moon in Sag? Do you like it?
I'm looking forward to this. I'm just like already like just looking at those words, full moon in Sagittarius. I just feel instant like release almost thinking about a full moon. Um, yeah, I think after all of this tension that we have would will go through in the days prior, this day is great that a full moon is coming because full moons are all about releasing. It's the full circle. It's the end, it's the finish line in a way,
Yep.
and letting go. Um, and Sagittarius is the, happy-go-lucky sign of the zodiac. So you like burn something and laugh about it.
Pretty much. Yeah. I love to
Yeah,
think of it like fireworks. And we're getting into the kind of that fireworks season here and it's a great time for you to absolutely let something burn.
yeah,
Absolutely. Whatever it is, the old way of thinking being typically Sag reminds me of learning, right? Learning and publishing and creating in those kinds of ways. Creative endeavors of publishing things. And during my Sagittarius progressed moon cycle, 2.5 year cycle, I published all of our websites, and it's a lot, and online collective membership spaces. And I just kept publishing and creating and creating and creating and publishing and publishing. And I published several books during that time. And it was just like so much publishing. I assumed it would be more travel oriented. But that's not how it showed up for me. It showed up with knowledge and learning and publishing. So it
mm,
helped me to see a different side of the sign that I wasn't expecting. I was really thinking it would be more like maybe we take more trips and more travel and explore, but it showed up differently. And I love that. I love when I'm proven wrong. Like, oh, little human, you think it's going to be this way. It's going to be this way
yeah,
instead.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, Sag is all about expansion, and usually that is by like, because it's very curious and wants to learn. And that can be physical travel, or it can be mental traveling, which
yes,
is learning.
that's what I did. Yeah. So this
Yeah,
full moon in Sag, we can really intellectually and emotionally let go and burn something, transmute it, and learn from it, and then move on. I love that.
yeah. And we have another transit that day,
What's going on?
and we have Mercury in Cancer, sextile to Venus in Taurus.
Ooh,
Yes.
I like this one.
This is really nice. So after all of that tension, we get to release, and we also get to be, mercurial in the Cancerian kind of way, which is very like watery and flowy. And yeah, like you might not know exactly what you're thinking, but you're sort of feeling your thoughts a little bit more. Like
Yep,
it's a way more feeling way to experience Mercury in our,
yep.
mental activity. And that sextile to Venus and Taurus, that is all about pleasure. Yeah, this day, I think that you don't have to use so many words. You can use Mercury, like communicate instead with,
Hugs,
yeah, not
food,
actually
food and
trying to
hugs.
think so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't, I was my immediate when you said communicate in a way, and I just saw like arms wrapping
Yeah.
around me. I'm like, oh, hugs and food.
Yeah, hugs and food.
Hugs and food.
Perfect.
That's what you.
Burn something,
All right,
let something
everybody.
go.
On the 11th,
And
you're gonna burn things
yes,
and learn, and then have hugs and food. That's the 11th for you. I, I
great
love that.
prediction.
I really love that. That's so fun. Hugs and food. Taking care of
Yeah.
yourself in whatever way that looks like, right? Whether that is
Yeah.
peaceful, quiet reading time with some yummy snacks you haven't had in a while or what, but just find an hour throughout the day on Wednesday, the 11th, and make it your hour that you really can just love yourself.
Mm.
Love yourself. I love that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, do we want to say something about Vesta direct in Scorpio?
Yeah, we can mention her. We did a podcast on Vesta back in December. If you want to check her out and learn more about her, she's a
Oh, that's true. I
fascinating,
forgot.
yeah, fascinating asteroid, which really represents our internal heart space, heart flame, like that flame that we really tend to, that matters to us and what really pulls us through life. What's the heart space pull that we have through life? She's not political at all and really wants to just steer clear of all that garbage and then just tend to the home and find the things that bring peace.
Mm.
So she's going direct on June 14th, and she is in Scorpio. So when she was going backwards, we were really going deep and examining the inner workings of our heart space and our heart flame, and really examining what does pull us and what does light us up and what is our thing that, like when people become Olympians and they train for the Olympics, that's Vesta very, very, very prominently active in their chart. I do not have that pull. I do not even understand that pull to train like that and push your body to those extremes for really not any kind of recognition unless you win, right? Like you could just kind of do the Olympics and work for it and then fall out of the race and nobody remembers you at all. And what you got, right? So it's just one of those interesting things that Vesta does where she pulls us to do some of the things that we can't explain why we have to do it. We just have to. Our heart says we
Mm.
have to. And when she's in Scorpio, and she was going backwards, we were examining a lot of those deep, dark things, those dark thoughts, those dark parts of us. And now she's turning around, going direct, so we can bring that up and out and we can let go of, let it die, because there's that scorpionic energy, let it die what wasn't working for us. And then light the flame and feed that flame with the things that are working for us and help us
Mm.
transform on our journey.
I love Scorpio energy. And Vesta being in Scorpio, it
Yeah,
feels pretty powerful.
it does. It really does.
Yeah.
She's hanging out right by my Jupiter, my natal Jupiter right now. That's interesting. So yeah, it's just fun to know something about those asteroids. I feel like they really do have a big emotional impact on us, especially with their feminine qualities.
Mm.
And we live in such a patriarchal society that I want to learn more about the feminine energies in the sky and how those affect us and the more subtle
Mm.
things about our life.
I'm with you. Yes.
So we made
With
it
you
for
on
the through the
that.
first 2 weeks of June.
Uh,
How did that?
or
Or are we going to do the
should we?
15th? Should we?
Yeah, I
Should
think
we give them a
so.
taste? All right, let's do the
Let's
15th.
do it. Let's do
All
it. Let's do
right.
the 15th and then we'll continue in 2 weeks for the
Perfect.
rest.
So the 15th has two more squares, y'all.
Yeah, let's finish on that note. So
All
we
right.
have the first one is Mars being in Leo, square to Uranus and Taurus, and the second one is Jupiter in Cancer, square to Saturn in Aries. Um, and okay, so we already went through what a square is and how to work with that energy, but now
Yep.
we're dealing with new transits. So Mars, just Mars square to Uranus. I mean, you can count in the signs, Leo and Taurus. These are also very stubborn signs.
Yep.
I'm a Leo, my boyfriend's a Taurus. We deal with this all the time. So, and then you take the planets, Mars and Uranus. This is okay, this is tricky because Mars is that action taking planet, wanting to go forward, like, saying things, doing stuff, la la la. And then Uranus comes like a lightning in the road, sort of, just
Mhm.
splitting the road in half,
Changing your
saying like,
path.
oh,
Changing
can't
your
go this
path.
way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. This to me looks like if you were driving on a trip and you were going down the highway and suddenly there's an accident several miles up ahead and now traffic slows down and is suddenly detoured off of the highway and now your
Yeah.
trip is taking a total flipping detour in some country land you did not plan on going on.
Yeah.
It's a change in plans is what it is, and the change in plans causes this inner tension because Mars wants to keep going on the path it's on because Leo is steady and it's straight and it's the sun in the sky. We would really like the sun to keep going on the path it's on, or our Earth doesn't survive, right? That's the thing. So we would really like that consistency to drive. And Uranus and Taurus is going, actually, nope.
Yeah. And also this is very because Uranus is so much about the nervous system as well,
Mhm.
and Mars is so much about your physical body. So this like be aware to today also make sure to feed yourself, to make sure that you are drinking water,
Yeah.
to make sure that you're resting, to doing the things that you can to prepare because this might be a very over like you might feel very overly stimulated this day.
Oh my
And
gosh,
your body's gonna take the hit of that.
this looks like if you were to picture an electrical panel and then too much energy goes into the electrical panel and there's like a surge of energy, but the electrical panel can't handle all of the surge of energy that comes in on the wires, which would be Uranus, and the electrical station gets overheated. That would be Mars. So what do you do with that excess energy? You need to exercise. This is a day where you need to move your flipping body or your nervous system will probably blow up. Like, I'm not even joking. This
Mm,
is, I'm saying this to myself too. This is
yeah.
major. Like, do not remain stagnant on this day. Move some way, somehow, even if you're on a road trip. I've done so many road trips where we get out at the gas station and we do literally jumping jacks and high kicks and stretches and run around the picnic tables, right? Because all that energy builds up in the car. So this is the energy that's going to build up inside you, right? Inside the physical body. So move this energy out of you, not out your mouth, out your body. Close your mouth and go
Yeah.
for a run. Okay.
Mm,
Because this looks like heated tempers.
mm.
And the best way to manage a hot temper, and this is coming from someone, you guys, with a hot freaking temper. Okay. I deal with a lot of heat and rage inside of me on a regular. Helena gets a couple versions of it once in a while. She got a good one yesterday. And it causes nervous system malfunction. She got to see that too. It was great.
Mm.
So I know this energy in my body real well, and the best thing I can offer you is turn on music, go for a run, dance, jumping jacks, punch something, a bag, not, humans, like a punching bag, but get this physically out of you so that you don't have enough energy to throw it at somebody verbally and cause emotional issues that you have to fix later.
Yeah.
That's my warning for everybody on June 15th.
Yes, yes. And because we also have that Jupiter in Cancer squared Saturn Aries. And Cancer is is a lot of things, and one thing is your home
Mm-hmm.
and how that can show up globally is like patriotism.
Yeah.
And now when I'm seeing these two squares together with the Mars in Leo, which is very proud energy, square to Uranus in Taurus, which is changing uh, the structure.
Yeah.
Taurus is structure, and this is late degrees as well.
Yeah.
Final degrees of Uranus and Taurus. And Uranus has been in Taurus forever. We had talked about Uranus in Taurus so many times.
2018.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also now throw in Saturn, who is like baby Saturn in Aries, that is coming to really make sure we are learning some lessons. This is, I feel like this is a big day.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. There's many ways that this energy could show up,
Yeah. This
but
could be good or big for quite a few
yeah,
governmental things. Not necessarily
hmm
good, but big for quite a few governmental things where
very,
maybe there's some rulings on some cases that have come through. There, it could be, judgment whenever Saturn is involved. There's some kind of judgment, and with Aries, the judgment can come quick, right? So that's an energy that could be tension filled. With then Jupiter is being big and kind of the masses, right? And that, like you said, Cancer and home. So yeah, absolutely. Some governmental things could show up, and then the square between Mars and Uranus. I Again, another day, guys. Breathe. Breathe. If you need some suggestions on essential oils, let me know. Shoot me a message. I can help you. There's a lot of help when it comes to managing these transits. We do not all have to be victim to them. They are, like Helena said before, opportunities for us to check ourselves and do the best we can to maintain our own stability so that we do not send ripples of disharmony through our children or our spouses into their workplace or their school or their daycare, whatever. So our job during these squares is to maintain our own health and wellness and mental and physical and emotional and spiritual stability during the tension filled conversation in the
Yeah.
sky.
And also through tension, like you strengthen through tension
Mm-hmm.
also. They're challenging, but it strengthens
Yeah.
us.
Yes. Just
Yes.
like lifting weights, you do not just suddenly get strong. You do not just suddenly pick up 150 pounds. You got to work your way up to that. And it takes tension, and you got to get tired, and then you do it again. And then you got to get tired and rest and reset. And that's how we work through these squares. So we like to take a moment and offer some appreciation for these squares, whether they're in our natal chart or in the sky during the transits, and just say thanks for the lessons, guys. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a pretty intense first half of June. In about 2 weeks, we're going to be releasing the second part, which is has a new moon in Cancer, for example, and
Summer
Mars is
solstice.
entering Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I like what I'm seeing for the second half. So I can't wait to come back and
Yeah.
discuss more with you and help you guys out through the energetics of the stars. So thanks for listening, and feel free to share with somebody who you think could use this. I think everybody could use some guidance and help with understanding the energies. And we appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to like and support the show by sharing with a friend or joining us on Patreon. And you can buy us a tea or coffee and financially support us. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated.